Drew, if you don't mind, we're gonna probably unmute you for a second, and we're gonna have you as an example real quick, if that's all right.
Was great.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much for being here and letting us do this. Let's dial in for a second. What kind of community are you building, if you don't mind?
So my initial community were for individuals with a lazy eye, and I have a course that trains them how to basically use muscle control to aesthetically straighten it without using surgery, medication, or patching or glasses.
Crazy. That's great. That's awesome. Okay, man, you're helping a lot of people out. That's a huge need. That is great. Okay, awesome. Love seeing this. Okay. So, do tell me about this. Have you already launched a paid community or are you just getting started? Tell us where you're at.
I did. So I initially launched it back in 2019, made my first thousand up to 8K that year, all passively, no marketing, nothing like that. And then it got to a point where I was able to pursue sort of my dream job that was my lazy eye was preventing me from doing. So I was able to do that. So I put everything on pause. Since then, that community I've sort of let just kind of, I don't want to say die out, but fizzle out because I couldn't dedicate the time to it. But now I'm sort of restarting it back up. I was on a platform before this, proven course, proven video, proven results. And then now that I'm starting back up, there's a chance to use Heartbeat. So I'm switching over to that because multiple factors. Your guys' platform's awesome. I'm going to do a shout out real quick. There's an app feature, there's Drib feature, there's the community feature. There's a ton of features that it adds to help my community achieve results.
I love it. Drew, this is
Definitely.
great. So dive into this, right? So you're now going to be starting the community again, really rev it up. And we're looking at, let's just start with the ID goals, right? So you already had success, you already made AK. What's the number that you're looking for the rest of this year? What are we dialing in?
I totally know there's a rev up process. My goal ideally would be to make somewhere around 120 just with taxes and whatnot, like you're mentioning before. So ideally, so I can dedicate full time to it.
Okay, cool. And when you had the community before, had 8K. What's the structure right now for payment? How did the students or the community members pay? What was the structure before?
So it was a very, very low ticket item. It was a $29 a month membership. And how I structured at the beginning this course was like a gym membership for your eyes, basically. So as soon as they hit results, they can cancel at any time or they can continue. And we've had people achieve results. And this is results defined as aesthetically straightening their lazy eye. So they're able to make eye contact. So
Nice.
as soon as they hit that, it could be anywhere from 9 months, we've seen it, to 2 weeks. It really varies widely on the individual where they're at.
And so on average, yeah, so it just depends on the person. How many members did you have? How many did you have active in your gym?
I think at most, I'm gonna just throw out a number, let's say 100.
All right, so if we're hitting at 100, right, 29, so you're hitting about reoccurring, you're hitting about almost 3,000 a month. You're hitting at like 2,900, something like that. In the ch-
So
Let me know in the chat if I did my math wrong though. But yeah, tell me more.
it was a mixture. So there was part that was $29 a month, and then I try to do sales. So $84 for the year. The
Okay.
lowest I did was $9 a month.
Okay.
Ironically, that one performed the least.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
the worst. The higher the price seemed to be a better response, surprisingly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit, Drew. Okay. All right. This is good. This is good. That's not easy, by the way, to also come up here and explain. So thank you so much. Okay. So as we just saw an example, and we're going to highlight here, you got to know your numbers and see what's going on back here, right? So we just went through IDing goals. Drew had a great goal right here, helping ones to be able to cure their lazy eye and being able to do this in really a format of a gym. I love that metaphor right there. So we're going to go into that a little bit more. So IDing your goals, understanding where you need to be. And then next, what we're going to look at is what your tribe needs. Now, Drew said it perfectly. We already had a built-in goal for his members, right? For them to be able to see straight and be able to cure that. So that's a great goal. So that transformation for what the tribe needs for him, I mean, that's straightforward. You're understanding exactly. For you in the audience, perhaps for your tribe, write down, do you have a clear transformation story why they need to be in your community? Could you create it in one sentence? And just like Drew, what I would ask of you would be, don't just assume you know what your audience wants, but see if they're willing to pay what you're saying, right? So, because if you have that offering and you say, well, I think this is what they want, you will find out very quickly if you say, great, I got a PayPal link, I've got a this link, give me that money. If they say, whoa, 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 you know that the offering isn't right, right? Maybe the tribe is disconnecting. Maybe it's your language of how you're describing it, or maybe it's just not the right offering. So we're going to be making sure finding out exactly what your tribe needs. Now, you can do it depending on how big your audience is. You can do a survey, but if you have a small audience, less than 30, ask them to just get on a call with you, a Zoom call or something like that. And what I would do with their consent, record it, because then you can hear their pain points. You can see how they describe it. And then that can be in your marketing, or as you're scaling your community, you can make sure that that is resonating with your audience. Okay. So we're going to make sure that you understand that. And again, the best type is a story that what you're going to be selling.